Welcome. This is Deus Sports Show live on Thursdays from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Thank you for tuning in once again here on Whsn-Db, Hosannaradio. This is the Deus Sports Show. Before I start, I want to do a quick prayer. Father God, thank you once again for another day you've given us to once again glorify your name. Thank you for everything you've done for us. Thank you for giving us another opportunity. Thank you for continuing to keeping us in good health. I pray that you protect our going outs and coming ins. Keep everyone healthy. Keep everyone safe. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I'm back and better than ever. Thank you for tuning in. It's great to be with you guys tonight. There's been a lot of stuff going on lately. Let's get right into it. We got the NFL draft coming up. You got some moves that were made recently, and let's get right into it. One of the moves that everybody's been talking about lately is the Russell Wilson to the Pittsburgh Steelers. My parting thoughts with that situation. Denver traded for Russell Wilson. Not only you traded for Russell Wilson, but you gave him a $245 million extension. Right? Now, granted, we all can sit here and agree that Russell Wilson is a Hall of Fame quarterback in the near future. We all can agree that Russell Wilson is no slouch. We all can agree that Russell Wilson has won a Super Bowl and knows how to reach the mountaintop when it comes to the competition in the NFL. He won a Super Bowl. He made it to the Super Bowl in Seattle. He knows he's been around the block and then some. He's been to the top of the mountain, and I guess just recently we've realized that he's been to the bottom. But my problem with that situation, and I have some foundational principles, in my opinion, that I just for some reason see myself going by. When you make a commitment of that stature, $245 million extension for your quarterback, right? For your quarterback, right? When you make that investment, you, in my opinion, should do everything you can to surround that investment and give that investment an opportunity to be successful, right? And I feel like Denver did a disservice to Russell Wilson. So now everybody's going to be like, dude, what are you talking about, Deuce? What you mean by that? So now here's the thing, right? Shouts out to Pastor King. Here's the thing, right? In my opinion, we all know in the beginning of the year, at the beginning of this situation, they were trying to get Aaron Rodgers. Right? Not only were they trying to get Aaron Rodgers, but they hired a head coach that came from the Green Bay Packers that runs the same system. That runs the same system that Aaron Rodgers won his two recent MVPs. Right? And my opinion, they went all in for Aaron Rodgers. They hired the coach from Green Bay. They hired the personnel. They brought in the terminology. They brought in the system for Green Bay. They brought everything from Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers. There's only one problem. He didn't get Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers instead stayed one more year and then later on went to the New York Jets the year after. So now you have a new ownership group. They want to make a splash. They're trying to get Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay one more year. Owner still wants to make a splash. Owner still wants to get a new quarterback. So what he does, man, let's get Russell Wilson. Hey, he's a perennial All-Pro quarterback. He has won he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Let's pair him with our new head coach, and let's move forward that way, right? Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, right? That year, Russell Wilson's first year in Denver, right? That's all Russell Wilson. Because, granted, I understand the system wasn't for you. It was for Aaron Rodgers. I get it. Right? And, granted, I understand it takes a while to learn a new terminology and whatnot. But my opinion, man, you are, for what you're getting paid to carry the franchise, right? And that year, in 2022, with Nathaniel Hackett getting his first job, becoming the head coach, you were supposed to help Nathaniel Hackett along the way. You were supposed to carry Nathaniel Hackett in his first year as he's learning to be a head coach in the NFL, right? And that first year in 2022, that was all Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson played horrible, right? It was a bad fit. That terminology, that offense was a bad fit for him, right? But after that, he played so bad. I mean, the Denver Broncos were so bad that Nathaniel Hackett didn't finish the season. So now, okay, Nathaniel Hackett didn't finish the season. Now, granted, you brought in Russell Wilson, you signed him for $240 million, and then everything was for another quarterback. Okay, so now if you get rid of the quarterback, the head coach, and all the terminology and the system that was for Aaron Rodgers, the smartest thing was to do was to bring in something that Russell Wilson was familiar with, right? That's what, in my opinion, somebody that's trying to have their investment, right, pay off or make good on their investment, you should have invested in Russell Wilson. You should have went and signed a head coach with a similar background as Russell Wilson, who is like-minded with Russell Wilson, and then you guys tried to make this thing work, right? Instead, you went and hired Sean Payton, So now, Sean Payton, he is a different type of head coach. He's a head coach that thrives on prototypical quarterbacks, not athletic quarterbacks, but just a prototypical quarterback that stands in the pocket, that delivers the football, that has running backs running out routes, running outlet hitch routes and whatnot, where if there's nothing downfield, where if you don't see, if you have multiple reads, first, second reads, and there's nothing downfield, you have your outlet, you have your running back right there to catch a couple of yards, whatnot, to save the play. That's how his system has always been, i.e. Alvin Kamara, right? Reggie Bush, right? So Russell Wilson wasn't used to that. So you bring in how can I say it? I'm going to say it. You bring in a diva head coach, right, into the organization where it's my way or no way, my way or the highway, right? And then he has to deal with a quarterback who is also a superstar in his own right. Two people like that weren't going to be able to mesh well in the same building. But in my opinion, everything was going well. The beginning of the season, they weren't doing too well. But one thing I will say, Russell Wilson started to understand the playbook, understand the offense, and he started humming. All right? And everything was going well. But in my opinion, when looking at that whole thing, the whole ordeal over there in Denver, I'm at that point. I just feel like I think Sean Payton just didn't like Russell Wilson. It's simple as that. It was something about him and Russell Wilson. It got to the point where, in my opinion, the personal feelings towards Russell Wilson, in my opinion, overtake the professional capabilities of Sean Payton when it comes to him just coaching the football team, right? They're in playoff contention, right? And he played god awful the year before. So now you're looking at it like he's not worthy of this contract. The second year of the contract, he's all of a sudden playing well, and they just beat Patrick Mahomes, right? And reports came out that the game after he beat Patrick Mahomes, right? They go to him and said, "Listen, we need you to move your injury, your injury guarantee back." Right? Why? Because they didn't want to pay that. They didn't want to pay it. So now, they didn't want to pay it. So now, why? And then, of course, Russell Wilson says, "No, I'm not doing it." But here's the thing I want to say. Why would, after beating the best quarterback in the league, you go and ask him to restructure his contract? Like, I don't understand that. To be honest, I do understand that, but I'm just saying, I don't understand at what juncture, if that was a great point to, after beating one of the best teams in the NFL, who later on we realized they won the Super Bowl, after going and beating a team of that stature, and then to go and ask him to restructure his contract. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense? Now, he says no. So then when he says no, then you get to a point where now you stop him from playing. You bench him. Right? So now Russell Wilson was playing a great year. He rebounded from the year before. He put respectability, he put stability back into his brand, into his name. It wasn't of stature where he was in Seattle and perennial playoff and Super Bowl contender year in and year out. But he did restore stability, restore some a competent credibility behind his name and his brand with his play. For me personally, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sean Payton didn't want him as a quarterback and expected him to flame out, but instead of flaming out, he turned around and was winning games. And when they realized that this man is winning games and could potentially put the organization in a situation of from a fan aspect, like, why are you making a change when he's doing good? They said, no, we're going to stop this right now. We're going to stop this right now, and we're not going to allow him to restore his image and restore his name to the point where now if we let him go, it makes us look bad and not him. Right? So now, in my opinion, that's what happened. He got down to the nitty gritty and he got to work. He got to work. He did what he had to do to play up to respectability. And once they seen that, it was like, nah. Heck nah. We're gonna be stuck with Russell Wilson. We don't want to be stuck with Russell Wilson. So what they did, they said, no, you're just not gonna play, man. Listen, man, we don't want you. We thought you were gonna flame out. You didn't flame out. You actually about to bring us into the playoffs. You threw 26 touchdowns with eight picks. That's a great ratio. That's a 2-to-1 ratio, 2.1 ratio. No, you're actually doing too good. You're doing too. Nah, we're just gonna stop you right here, man. Right? And in my opinion, that shows that you did not want him as a quarterback. So I feel like, me personally, because my mind says like, damn, as an organization, as an ownership, why would you allow a new regime who doesn't want the quarterback you just invested $200 and something million to? That doesn't make sense. That's not good for business. To hire somebody who is against your overall plan, right? And I just feel like that's not good business, man. It's not good business. And in my opinion, they did Russell Wilson a disservice. If you just hired somebody, let's say from Seattle, assistant coach that played the offense Russell Wilson used to play and whatnot, or just somebody, or you involved Russell Wilson into the discussions of like who's going to be the next head coach. Because my mind says like this, when you make $250 million, $250 million investment, you got to have a plan. You got to have a strategy. You got to have a plan. 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 You got to you have to be attached to that investment. You have to work with that investment so you guys can make money, right? But instead, you in the opposite, and you got somebody that was against that investment, and now guess what? Now you are in a situation where you have to start over, and now you're in a situation where you have to pay that quarterback that you gave that investment to $39 million, and guess what? He's not even going to be on your team. He's going to be playing somewhere else. You're paying a quarterback $40 million to play on another team next year. Does that make any sense? Is that good business? No. And to be honest, in my opinion, if I'm an owner, I'm looking at the general manager. I'm looking at the president of football operations. I'm like, yo, this has gotten way worse than I thought this would even become. Right? So now guess what? We're going to see. Because to be honest, quite honest, I liked Sean Payton as a head coach. I still do. I lost a little bit of respect for his coaching from him towards his coaching, not as him personally, because I don't know him personally, but I've lost a little bit of respect for him as a coach. Why is that? You never, man, listen, Drew Brees, right? I've watched you be with Drew Brees for the last 12, 13 years, and not one time have you ever yelled and disrespected Drew Brees on the national televised stage like that. You have never done that to Drew Brees. I've never seen you do that to Drew Brees. But then, with Russell Wilson, you're yelling at him, you're screaming at him, and in front of everybody, and making him look like some petulant child. Right? And in my opinion, like, I just have, like, my mindset was like, come on, man. Come on, man. In this world, let's be honest, we treat animals better than we treat humans. Even if you didn't like Buddy, treat Buddy with some respect. This man is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, for goodness sakes. Would you have yelled at Peyton Manning like that? Would you have yelled at Peyton Manning like that on national television? Would you have yelled at Tom Brady like that on national television? One thing I'm going to tell you, hey, Tom Brady will yell at you back. That's one thing I do know for a fact. Would you have yelled on any other of these quarterbacks the way you did him, right? And I don't want to make it a white or black thing. But sometimes I feel like making it a white or black thing. Like, damn, bruh, why are you doing it to the brother? But I'm not going to put it, I'm not saying you did that because he was black. But there's perception out there like, damn, why he did it to Russell Wilson? Why he did it to the brother? You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that Sean Payton is racist, anything like that. Hey, he coaches black people. I'm pretty sure he has black friends or whatever. I'm not saying that he's racist. But my goodness, like, why did you have to do that to Russell Wilson? He earned more respect. You probably did respect him, but in front of the television, on national television, on national televised games, he did not deserve to be yelled at the way he was yelled at. This man has done a lot in this league, right? He has been a perennial Pro Bowler in this league. He has been a All-Pro in his league. He has won a Super Bowl in his league. He has brought a team to 2 Super Bowls in this league. And he did not deserve to be yelled at like that on national television. Right? So, move forward. You go and you let him go. You release him. And you put a record-setting $80 million of dead cap against your books. Why is that? Why is that? right? When you could have stayed with him and you should nurture him. I'm gonna pivot into a new one, but before we go, we do anything further, we're gonna take a quick break, and after I take a quick break, we're gonna go on to my next segment. It's a Deus Sports Show. Thank you for tuning in every Thursday from 6 to 8. Once again, it's your boy Deus and Mitch on the ones and twos. I thank you for tuning in every Thursday from 6 to 8. And we're here. We're live on Miami Hosanna radio on YouTube and Miami Hosanna on Facebook Live. Thank you for tuning in.
You are now listening to Hosannaradio, the radio station that's connecting the world through gospel.
Alléluia. Bon Dieu n'a servi à le vivant. Il dit et les choses arrivent. Il ordonne et elles existent. Alléluia. Amen.
Même si vous voulez porter malé, l'idée fait me connaître qui est au pas durer longtemps. Bientôt y'a gagné pour 6 ans. M'a levé tête moi devant méchant yo. Même là yo comprend yo ka dévier destiné. Puisque moi connais plan mon Dieu déjà gracé. M'a prêté dans lit avec la foi. C'est oui problème yo qu'on les porter malé. Il devait me connaître que yo pas durer longtemps. Moi pas plaigner.
Alléluia. Alléluia.
Déjà dans mes moyens.
C'est vrai problème yo.
C'est oui problème yo qu'on les porter malé.
Les potes malé.
Il devait me connaître que yo pas durer longtemps. Moi pas plaigner. Sous promesse qui fait dans délivrance. Déjà dans mes moyens.
Levez-moi devant le roi des rois, le Dieu tout-puissant qui a régné pour tout temps. Alléluia. C'est sous lui me compter, c'est lui qui me garde, c'est lui qui a prié. C'est bon Dieu, c'est lui qui sauve. Amen. Moi pas plaigner.
Moi pas plaigner pour problème yo.
Même si yo vle.
Même si yo vle pour te marier.
Il te fait me connaître.
Il te fait me connaître qui yo pas tirer longtemps.
Bientôt la
guerre pour 6 ans.
M'a levé tête
moi devant méchant yo. Même là yo comprend yo ka dévier destiné. Puisque moi connais plan bon Dieu déjà tracé.
M'a prêté dans like that. C'est vrai problème yo.
C'est vrai problème yo qu'on te porter malé. Il devait me connaître que yo pas tirer longtemps. Moi pas plaigner. Sous promesse qui fait dans délivrance. Déjà dans mes moyens.
C'est vrai problème yo.
C'est vrai problème yo qu'on te porter malé.
Les potes malé.
Que yo pas tirer longtemps. Moi pas plaigner. Sous promesse qui fait dans délivrance. Déjà dans mes moyens.
Mon Dieu, pas le parler, ne pas perdre la foi.
Jésus,
c'était ça, c'est vérité. On continue prier, on prêter fidèle. Une tonne promesse la m'a témoigné.
Mon Dieu, pas le parler, ne pas perdre la foi. C'était ça, c'est vérité.
ma continue prier.
On prêter fidèle. Comme tant de promesses la m'a témoigné. C'est vrai problème yo qu'on te porter malé.
Les potes malé.
Même connaît que yo pas tirer
Oh,
longtemps.
ma plaie.
Sous promesse qui fait dans délivrance. Déjà dans mes
C'est vrai, 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 c'est vrai.
que yo pas tirer longtemps. Moi pas plaigner. Sous promesse qui fait dans délivrance. Déjà dans mes moyens.
Come on, yeah.
Délivrance là,
Déjà dans mes moyens.
délivrance là,
Déjà dans mes moyens.
délivrance là.
Déjà dans mes moyens.
Dynamite, délivrance là.
That's right,
Déjà dans mes moyens.
that's right.
Délivrance là.
Déjà dans mes moyens.
Oh, délivrance là.
Déjà dans mes moyens.
Oh, délivrance là.
Déjà dans mes moyens.
Et les gars bien même délivrance là.
Déjà dans mes
Ah,
moyens.
yeah, guérison là.
Déjà dans mes moyens.
Oh, délivrance là.
Déjà dans mes moyens.
Délivrance est juste. La droite de l'Éternel manifeste sa puissance. La droite de l'Éternel est élevée. Je ne mourrai pas, je vivrai et je raconterai les œuvres de l'Éternel.
And the word of God simply says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the
Amen.
shadow of
Hallelujah.
death, I will fear no evil, for you
Amen.
are with me. Your rod and your staff comfort me. As for me, you are my hiding place. You shall preserve me from trouble. You shall surround me with songs of
Hallelujah.
deliverance.
Amen.
Selah.
Adonai, El Shaddai, Puissant, Jehovah, 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 Adonai, El Shaddai, puissant. Il est Jéhovah, Adonai, El Shaddai, puissant.
We're back. Back and better than ever. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get right into it. Another thing I wanted to get into, right? Another thing I wanted to get into when it comes to Russell Wilson, right? Russell Wilson is now with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's been traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Now, I have some thoughts when it comes to that. The Chicago Bears traded away their quarterback to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now he'll be backing up Russell Wilson. So now Russell Wilson, to be honest, has to fight for his starting job. All right? And in my opinion, Pittsburgh, they're in a great situation. And they have two quarterbacks who could potentially be the starters. Now, Russell Wilson, in my opinion, didn't deserve what he got. They traded him away, and now he's playing for another team, even though he's getting paid for another team. He played better than people make it out to be, and I've even talked to other people, and for some reason they don't see it eye to eye with me with that. 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I mean, what more do you want from a quarterback? Probably a little bit more touchdowns. But what more do you want? He came in in his first year in the offense and did what he can, in my opinion. And in my opinion, if they kept him one more year, I bet he would have been even better than he was this year. And that goes to show that nowadays, man, there's a lot of teams that are not sticking with their plan. There's a lot of teams, man, nowadays, they have a plan, and then they go and all of a sudden you get pressure from the fans, you get pressure from whoever you get pressure from, and now, new plan, guys. And I'm like, and I'm starting to see that there's a lot more of that, like, there's a lot more of that on more recently, like Justin Fields, right? He is not a backup for Russell Wilson, but people don't realize, people look behind the scenes. Justin Fields has almost identical numbers, as identical numbers than as Lamar Jackson. I don't get it. Am I missing something here? I watched Chicago Bears games, and Justin Fields was competing and getting better game in and game out. This is only his third year, right? Ryan Poles, the general manager of Chicago Bears. I hear what you're saying. I get his situation. He has the number one overall pick, where he can get Caleb Williams from USC. I understand all that. But let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100. The Chicago Bears traded Justin Fields for a 6th-round pick that could turn into a 4th-round pick. And my mindset is like, you just traded your quarterback away for a 6th-round pick. Let's keep it 100. For people that was following this story, their mindset was that Justin Fields was going to get traded, and they were going to get a lot of picks and compensation back for Justin Fields. Why? Because he has wonderful talent. He is pretty much a lesser version of Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson just won the MVP. Right? I don't get it. Like, my mindset is like this. I'm the minority in this situation. I'm the minority in this in this conversation, right? So, in this situation, no matter how it breaks down, if I'm the general manager for the Chicago Bears, I have to be in a situation where I receive a boatload of compensation, a boatload of draft picks, a boatload of future mid-round picks, 4th-round picks for the next 3-4 years. Either way, I have to be in a situation where this can set up the Chicago Bears for 2 to 3, 4 years down the road, man. Right? That could potentially set us up for success for the next decade. There's a lot of people who thought, okay, Justin Fields, the trade is going to be a great trade. We're going to get maybe a 1st-round pick, maybe 2, maybe one, at least one 1st-round pick, a 2nd-round pick, a couple of 3rd-round picks, decent amount of picks, and maybe a player or whatever that will help us in the next couple of years. But instead, nobody thought you would only get a 6th-round pick. What? Are you kidding me? 6th-round pick for somebody who can play like Russell, who could play like Lamar Jackson, who has the speed like Lamar Jackson? Are you kidding me? Who has the arm that's getting better like a Lamar Jackson? A prototypical Lamar Jackson, lower level Lamar Jackson? Are you kidding me? I'm only getting a 6th-round pick? I could do a better trade than Madden. Myself. I'm not accepting a 6th. Are you kidding me? I'm going to go next. What's the next offer? I feel like Ryan Poles, he did a bad job. in this trade, and I'm the minority. In this situation, either you trade Justin Fields or you trade the first overall pick. You need to be in a situation where you load up with multiple draft picks in the future, multiple compensation that will set you up for years on end. And I feel like, in my opinion, once you saw that there was no compensation that was coming towards you in terms of Justin Fields, that's when I'm signing. I'm trading away the first overall pick, and I'm getting a whole bunch of first round picks. I'm getting a whole bunch of second round picks and a whole bunch of third round picks for Caleb Williams. I mean, for that number one overall pick, and I stick with Justin Fields, right? And in my opinion, people are like, what? Why would you do that? Right? What if Caleb Williams goes on to be the next Patrick Mahomes? Now you're going to be looked at as like you made a mistake by keeping Justin Fields. But here's the thing. What if he ends up, like Miz say, a bust? What if he turns out to be a bust? It's like you're trading away what you know you have. And what do you know you have? You know you have a quarterback who has been taking some bumps and bruises and learning the game 3 years in and getting better year in and year out and getting incrementally better year in and year out and has the talent, the speed and athleticism of a Lamar Jackson, and which is where these quarterbacks are going towards today, right? Caleb Williams doesn't run. All they do is pass, right? You have a quarterback with multiple dimensions, which he already got down pat, the running game, and he was getting his throwing mechanics and his throwing talent was getting better. You could have hired a throwing coach in the offseason to get him better to help him with mechanics. Mitch wanted to chime in, so I'm going to let Mitch get in there.
All right, for everybody that's listening, thank y'all for listening to the Deus Sports Shows back on Hosannaradio. Yeah, what Brother Alvin was saying, I was surprised when they traded him. They said that they was going for that rookie. To me, I'm like I said, I'm both ways. I'm like, okay, it could be a good thing because he's been doing his things for how long? He been in the
He's been in the league about 3 years. He's been in college
about 3 years. Okay, so he got experience. That's one, and he could come and this first go and just like how that guy did for Texas, the rookie they did for Texas, he set the rookie record. Mm-hmm. He did a good job. He brought them to the playoffs. It could be like that, but you can't. To me, and the other side, I feel like they made a big mistake because that boy they trade. What's his name again? I forgot his name.
I just said his name. Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. He killed us. It's to the point that our coach from Miami was like, "Yo, stop running." I mean, what game that was? I don't know if you remember. He had to tell that boy, "Man, yo, what you doing, man? Stop running, man. Stop running. Yeah. You killing us." So first of all, he's fast. He could throw. He could. I don't know why
he was getting better throwing.
Yes, he was getting better. But
he was getting better.
But that's how the business is, though. You know. But hopefully they did a good job. Hopefully they didn't do a bad job because I know if that quarterback comes and he's a bust. Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm saying. So my mindset is like this, right? You made a decision to go with Justin Fields, and that's the thing that I have. When you make a decision to go with a quarterback, you have to do everything in your power to make him successful. It's his third year. He was getting better. You saw he was getting better. Sign some more receivers. Sign some offensive lines so he could have bigger holes to run. Sign some better teams on defense to keep the game close so he could work through the offense and keep you guys in the game. But to just throw away 3 years of work, right? So now what if he goes to Pittsburgh and balls out? That's what I want to know. What if he goes to Pittsburgh
and balls out?
makes the Pro Bowl, wins MVP. He goes into Chicago and blows you guys out with Caleb Williams. What is the president of football? What is the owner gonna say? That was our quarterback.
He's gonna be mad.
So my mindset is like this: you draft a quarterback number 11 overall, and you boot him after 3 years. And it wasn't that he was doing horrible. He was getting better year in and year out. He got better every year. And then you boot him out? How about let him play out his last year of his contract? That's why they give these quarterbacks, that's why they give these first overall, these top 5, top 10, top 15 players 4-year contracts. Because the expectation is by year 4, you should become the player we expect you to be.
But they got big hopes because I guess in his how you call it, when the college player is preparing for the NFL, but coaches and scouts be coming. What do you call the combine? One of the Chicago big players they signed from the Chargers. What's his name? Mike Evans, I think, with him. No, that's not Mike Evans. The receiver they signed from the Chargers, one of the number 13.
Oh, okay. I know. Keelan Allen.
Yeah, he was at the combine, watching him throw the ball, and they clapped and they hugged.
He was at the pro day.
Pro day, exactly. He didn't throw. Yeah, he at a pro day. He went, and I'm like, hold up, they really trusting this guy.
But my thing is like, I get it.
He came to the pro day. They really trusting this guy, but hopefully he do good though.
I get it, bro. I get it. He's done great in college. Right? He's done great. Right? But my mindset is like this. When you draft a player, you try to squeeze every ounce you can before you realize. It's like a citron. Right? It's like a lemon. I'm going to keep it real with you. You go to Presidente. You buy you a bag of lemons, bruh. Right? You look for the best bag of lemons you can look for. You bring it to the house. Now you cleaning the chicken and stuff like that. You cleaning the fish and stuff like that. Now, after that, that's when you get the you bring out the bag of lemons. When you bring out the bag of lemons, right? You see one juicy one is big, right? And like, okay, this look like it got a lot of juice, right? You cut it, and now you squeezing and squeezing and squeezing and squeezing. You squeezing as much lemon juice out of it. And I feel like, in my opinion, with the Chicago Bears, they had a lemon, they cut it, they squeezed halfway, and then after that, they was like, I'm done. They got spear lemon now. They didn't use all the juice in the lemon, right? For example, Ryan Tannehill. We dépassé the lemon. That lemon was being used when the lemon was already, you feel what I'm saying? So now look, we did everything we can with Ryan Tannehill. We left a little bit of juice left. I'm not going to lie to you. We left a little bit of juice because when he went to Tennessee, he balled out for like 2-3 years, brought them to the AFC Championship and all that. So that means there was a little bit of juice left. But we squeezed as much lemon that we possibly can before we let him go. The same thing with Tua. Now Tua, see? Wait, hold up, bro. See, now Mitch trying to take over the show. So Mitch, bro.
Go ahead.
Like we should get rid of Tua?
I would have understood that play, what Chicago did, if Miami had did that with Tua. I would have understood that one. You know what I mean? Because,
what?
Yes. I feel
Tua's top 5 in all categories.
Don't get me wrong. I like Tua. You feel me? But he don't know how to run. He don't and his accuracy is kind of off sometimes. If it wasn't for Waddle or Tyree, bro, Tua was accuracy would have been like his. Trust me, man. He would have been garbage in that aspect. You feel what I'm saying? He was not gonna able to get the ball the way he needed to get the ball. He needed like a fast receivers like he got now. So that's why he was balling.
But that's what you do to make your investment better.
Of
That's
course,
what
of
you do.
course,
You
of
put
course.
your investment, you put stuff around your investment to not lose
And
on your
you're right,
investment.
you're right,
And
you're
that's
right.
what Miami Dolphins did.
That's what they did. You're right.
Did what they can to surround Tua to make Tua successful. Now he's top 5 in all categories in the league, and now you're saying let him go.
No, I'm just saying I would have understood, but not
doesn't make sense
if they
to me.
kept him. Okay, that's good.
That doesn't
But
make sense to me.
but to
That's
me,
just hating to me.
no, that's not hating. That's not hating. You feel what I'm saying? That's not hating. But after this like this. After this, I rephrase it. After this year, if he don't do nothing, I suggest Miami to trade Tua. I don't know about you. I feel like after this, the next year that's coming, I think this year, right? Yeah, this year when football come back, if Tua don't do nothing, I'ma go on Instagram. I'ma be like, trade him. I don't know if you agree with that, but me, if he don't do nothing, the year that's coming, the football has come back, he don't do nothing, I feel like they should trade him.
I disagree with you, sir. The thing is like this. A lot of people give up. See, that's the thing. Like, people give up too quickly on their investment, man. And I'm starting to see that. Like Tua, right? Mm-hmm. We thought people was ready to give up on Tua after year 2. We get a new head coach. Granted, I didn't like how he got here, but he got here, and now I like him, right? I did not expect Tua to be what he is today, and that's kudos to.
Like I said, Tua is my quarterback. Good, he's the Miami Dolphins quarterback, and that's my team. But let's be real, you can't blame the fact that he did it himself though. He had weapons.
But the kudos to the Dolphins for putting weapons around him to make him successful.
That's what I'm saying. But like I said, without the weapons, you think Tua would have been good?
It doesn't matter.
No. Listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. If it wasn't for the weapons, do you think Tua would have been the quarterback he is now?
Every quarterback needs weapons.
Answer my question. You're not answering my question.
Quarterback needs
You're
weapons.
not answering my question. I said it's a yes or no question, right? If Tua didn't have Waddle, Tyree, the running backs that he got right now, Tua would have been the quarterback he is now, like in the passing yards and the accuracy and everything. Do you think Tua would have been the quarterback he is now?
Would any quarterback be the quarterback, a successful quarterback?
I'm not talking about quarterback. I'm talking
but
about Tua.
I'm just saying.
I'm de Tua. Aí você ganha,
but my thing is, would any quarterback be successful if they didn't have a receiver?
I can't remember. I can't say no names. I can't remember. I know some quarterbacks, they don't got no. Matter of fact, let's go with Mahomes. He had nobody this year but Kelsey. What he did.
He got Kelsey.
But only one.
Okay.
Only one. But he made them.
That's what you said. You said if he didn't have anybody. You said if Tua didn't have anybody.
Okay, without Kelsey, who the Chiefs had?
Okay, but my thing is like you saying this is what you said.
Okay, but
if Tua did not have Waddle, did not have Tyreek Hill, right? Did not have the running back. So that means you took away everything.
Okay.
That means Tua didn't have anything.
Okay, that one too, and then let's reverse it. Okay, if he just had Waddle and he had nobody else but Waddle, you think he would?
I think he'll be successful because guess what? Waddle will end up with 2,000 yards, just like Tyreek Hill almost ended up with 2,000.
You know why I'm saying that? Because as a fan, like I said, Tua is my quarterback. I support him. If they keep him, hey, let's do what we got to do. But I'm just saying because I'm tired of seeing them going to the playoff or making the playoff, then they don't go. As a fan, if he come and ball out next year, I'm happy. You feel what I'm saying?
He balled out last year.
And look, if he ball out this year again, and he go to the Super Bowl, we do what we do. I'm happy for him.
But why does it have to always be Super Bowl?
What you mean? Like,
I know
that's what they play for.
That's what they're playing for.
Yes,
but my thing is like this: we've gotten to the point where we are. It's like we don't trust the process anymore, right?
But if we tired
we
of losing,
don't trust the process anymore.
If
you're not making the Super Bowl, right? Okay, it's time to cut bait. We made the playoffs this year.
We made it last year too, right?
No.
We made it last year, right?
No. The year before we did not. We made the playoffs this year. So that's not a successful season?
No, of course that's a successful.
Okay.
But like I said, he's
Granted, he didn't win a playoff game. I get it.
But yeah, he was hurt last year. You're right.
So my thing is like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
We gotta understand. Like, this is why I give kudos to the Dolphins. You drafted him, right? You took a risk on the man. He had major hip surgery, right? Yeah. He was already injury prone. We still took him. What did they do? They revamped the offensive line, right? Right? And then guess what? He had a concussion situation. You could have cut bait. You could have said, nah, man, he got concussed. Guess what? You let him come back. You make sure you got him a good helmet that's even more protective. Guess what? He balled out. This was his first full healthy season.
Yeah. The year before he got.
So now listen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When Brian Flores was the head coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like Tua.
See, I didn't know that. I can't really say that about.
He didn't like Tua. He rather play Ryan Fitzpatrick than Tua. Yeah, the organization had to step and say, "Listen, we need to play Tua."
Because he was a veteran. That's why.
I get it.
When he was playing.
But now look, you make an investment. When you make an investment, you have to do everything possible to make that investment successful, to gain on that investment, right? Mm-hmm. When they seen Brian Flores, they seen that Brian Flores was a good head coach, but they realized, like, bro, you're going against our investment. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So now guess what? We have to let you go. Now we got to get a head coach that is offensive minded to help Tua and to raise our investment, to help our investment be successful. And that's what they did. I give the Dolphins credit, man. They stuck with Tua where they could have easily moved on and went to another quarterback. Right? It got to that point where they was like, they don't think Tua is that guy. And guess what? They stuck with Tua. They stuck with Tua, right?
Mm-hmm.
And throughout everything, they stuck with Tua through the injuries. Yeah. They stuck with Tua through the inconsistent play. They brought in the head coach. Then they stuck with Tua even through a crazy a head injury, and brought him back the next year. And all they was doing was adding pieces for him. Guess what? He gave us by us sticking with Tua and not cutting bait. Now we reaped a good season with a quarterback who played his first full healthy season. But if we cut bait early, we would have never had that. We would have been on another quarterback right now trying to see if he's going to be good.
And that's why, like, I said what I said because I see Chicago did that with Justin Fields. That's his name, right? They did that with him. I'm like, yo, if they did that with the Dolphins, I did that to Tua, I was not going to blame him. I was not going to be in a situation like I would have been saying that. I would have been like, okay, you know what? They're trying to get rid of him just to try to go somewhere new, trying to see what's going to happen. That's why I said that. But we keep Tua and Tua do what he did this year, and he do it next year or the year when the season come back, I'm happy for that. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I was saying I'm not giving up on Tua. But I feel like, yo, listen, man, to me, you got one more year, man. You got to do what we got to do, man. When we go to the playoffs, you can shut down. You can bring them boys trying to get a tip. Because why? We got weapons. Knowing that this year we lost a lot of players, I was kind of like, whoa, what's going on? You know what I mean? But I heard that they got some new players. But at the same time, I hope he do ball out again. I hope so. You feel me? With the weapons he have.
All right. Shouts out to the chat on Miami Hosanna YouTube. Shouts out to Bill. Bill talking about a trade Tua for a 6th round pick, this and that. Get Tua and Misha out of there. That stat packing. Get Tua out of there while we got Tyreek, all cute, and then a disciple of Christ. I'm not sure who is that. Shouts out to you. And he said all QBs need receivers and running backs when it comes to what Misha was saying. And then Bill said Brady would have won a ring on the Dolphins. You're probably right.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But my thing is like stop chasing the unicorn. Embrace what you got.
No, you gotta chase the unicorn. What you talking about?
But my thing is like, if it's not possible, don't cut bait with what you got.
It's
You
always
try to get something, and that's what.
it's always possible, bro.
And that's I don't know, bro. Like
It's always possible, man. You never
but listen,
know,
all
man.
I'm saying is, we would have if we didn't stick with Tua, we wouldn't have seen this season. Like we wouldn't have seen this season. Like, come on, bro. Let's be real with you, bro. Let's be real. Y'all trying to tell me y'all didn't have fun this year watching the Dolphins?
Of course. I have fun.
Come on, bro.
I'm not gonna sit there and say I
Come
did
on,
not
bro.
have fun.
This is the
But-
best year offensively I've ever watched as a Dolphin fan.
For the
bro.
regular season, yeah, but for the playoffs, they let me down.
Okay,
Period.
but
That's what I'm saying.
but it's progress. You got a head coach that's learning things. You got a quarterback who's trying to learn to stay healthy, which he did this year.
But
he
I feel like
stayed healthy.
But I feel like we
and
could
stuff
have
like that.
But I feel like we could have made it all the way, man.
Man,
If
but it
Tua
doesn't
had
matter,
played better,
though.
if
Trust
Tua
the
had
process,
played better
though.
in the
Trust
snow,
the process. We played
Okay.
it. We played.
Okay, I hear
we
you, I
played-
hear you.
Granted, our next step, we need to win big games against against better competition and whatnot.
yes.
We need to do that. But in my opinion, I feel like next year we're gonna go on the drawing board and we're gonna do better. It's a process, man. It's a process.
I
Because
believe it. Trust me, I believe it.
in any situation you in, to be honest, like you just want to be competent, and we are competent right now. That's one thing I will say. We are competent, and we have a. I just want every team to have a end goal and a foundation and a philosophy and a plan. Right now, Chicago don't look like they got a plan.
Yeah, confused a little bit.
And the disciple of Christ, and he said stop complaining. He's talking to Bill. He said stop complaining and just enjoy. Real talk. Because when was the last time we had an offense like this, man?
No, it been a long time.
I used to go through seasons where I'm watching. We barely could hit 18 points.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This year we blew a team out and scored 70.
You're right, kid.
We blew a team out and scored 70, bruh.
But
You get what I'm saying? Like, so it's like,
But do you think all that go down the drain when you go to the playoff and you lose and you go home? You don't think so?
bruh, my mind says like, this is my goal:
Go ahead.
make the playoffs.
So you make the playoffs, you good? That's what you're saying?
It's not that for me. You make the playoffs. Anything happens in any given Sunday, bro.
Okay.
That's me.
Okay.
But it's not only about making the playoffs; it's also being fair. See, here's the problem. One problem I have with the NFL. The NFL never want to admit this. For some reason, right? And for some reason, these upper echelon teams like Patrick Mahomes' team, right?
Yeah.
They're never gonna admit it. But for some reason, the referees, it's something about them referees.
They
Where
cheating?
I'm not saying they're cheating,
Okay.
but these favorable teams get favorable calls, bro.
That's a big thing you saying right now, bro.
They get favorable calls.
That's a big thing you saying
It's
right
like,
now.
it's like, okay, you made it to the mountaintop, so now you got a little bit of respect. So now, instead of calling you for that holding, nah, I ain't finna call it. Right? But if the Dolphins did it, flag holding. I'm like, hold up. They just held. It's something. I'm not saying it's cheating. All I'm saying is for some reason, the favorable teams get a little bit more respect on that field. And which is, I get it. Which is that's the culture of it. I get it. It's like you're new to the playoffs and whatever, or you're not a superior team. You got to outright beat this team for you to win. And okay, this is the perfect way I could say it right here.
Okay.
The more superior team gets more of a benefit of the doubt. They get a benefit of the doubt more than like let's say Patrick Mahomes, let's say Kansas City play the Dolphins, right?
Okay.
A questionable call is gonna go Kansas City's way. A questionable call is not going to go the Dolphins' way.
You know the reason why I agree with you? Because Dolphins is my team.
But it's true,
how do you speaking if you talk about some other two teams? Because I ain't gonna lie, because I can't. You know what? I can't really say nothing because that do happen for real. The referees sometimes
the reason why I say
they be doing that, so I can't really say nothing about that.
The reason why I say that, I'm not saying that the refs are cheating.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is, okay, you got Dolphins, right?
Yeah.
They're an up and coming team. They're okay. Let's say they go into Baltimore, go into Buffalo, go into
They do what they do.
and do what they do.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
And out of nowhere, let's say it's a roughing the passer or something like that. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, Tua don't get that call.
Then next minute turn around, Mahomes get that call.
Something patty cake, not even a huge hit.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, roughing the passer. You get what I'm saying? Now you're like, hold up. My boy just got rocked. You ain't even call nothing. But Patrick Mahomes, he just hit him. He slowed down. But okay, he touched him. Roughing the passer. You can't tell me you don't see plays like that, bro. You get what I'm saying? It's just stuff like that. My mindset with the playoffs is give both teams the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't have a tight whistle for one team, and then you have a tight whistle for the other team. If you're gonna play tight, if you're gonna call a tight game for both teams. If you're gonna play loose, if you're gonna let people get after it, let us get after it.
For sure.
Because let's be real, these games, it really comes down
to the wire.
When it comes down to the wire, it's really the refs who kind of have control of how things go a little bit.
Just like basketball.
Just like basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's the same thing. So my mindset is like, okay, in basketball, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's this referee called Scott Foster.
Oh,
you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Sorry, where you going with this?
Scott Foster, right? Scott Foster, whenever he plays Chris Paul, it's a big thing. It's to the point where it's gotten to Scott Foster versus Chris Paul.
I think Chris Paul don't like him, or he don't like Chris Paul.
They don't like each other.
They don't like each other. You're right. Yeah, I heard about that
Because
story.
why? Because it's gotten to the point where there's a lot of questionable calls that be going against Chris Paul, non-calls, and like, bro, what you doing, bro?
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
That story. That Chris
so
Paul
it's like, so now it's like, okay, all I want, like, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins were a respectable team, whatever. But when we make the playoffs, call a consistent game, dog. Because really, it really comes to, it's getting to that point where it's coming down to the refs not calling a consistent game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being real with you. Because when the game is over with, now we're like, damn, man, the refs cheated. The refs cheated. They didn't, because there are certain calls that you didn't call. Call a consistent game. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If the Dolphins go into the playoffs, or any team go into the playoffs, and you call a consistent game, listen, man, every team has a shot to win the Super Bowl. That's every year. That's why I say, for me, I just want the Dolphins to make the playoffs. Because when the Dolphins make the playoffs, it's every given Sunday. And now if the Dolphins make the playoffs and you have a referee crew that is calling a consistent game and not swayed on either way, okay, Dolphins can win the playoff game. Dolphins can win another playoff game. And you feel what I'm saying?
Hopefully we don't have a referee like that. You know what I mean? Hopefully we don't have one.
It's just a lot of stuff I've been seeing lately throughout the years where it's like, damn, the game is over. You're like, man, look at that call. That was a bad call.
Oh, of course.
We always saying that. Man, that ref made a bad call. That, like, it's getting to that point every year where we talking about the ref.
Yeah.
Seriously. You know what I'm saying? And so now, here's the thing. Let me get to the chat. Let's see what they were talking about. We didn't stick with Tua. We built a proper team. It would have worked with Tannehill if they would have had a proper team. I agree with that.
I agree with that too.
I need to know the name of Disciple of Christ. Because me and him.
It's Kingsley.
Oh, okay.
That's a king.
Shouts out to the king. Okay, see now we got some understanding. Bill talking about they don't play, they don't play to make the playoffs. They play for a ring. I get it, but you need to make the playoffs to be eligible to make the ring, and then stuff like that. And then Bill said we had fun because of everyone but Tua. That's not true. Right? That's not true. That's when King said, "Stop complaining and just enjoy." Stop complaining and just enjoy. Our defense was bad, not the offense, and he's right. Our defense was bad,
and we got better this year.
We got better, and we got better pieces. Mm-hmm. I just feel like they should have did what they could have do to Kent Wilkins, but whatever.
Yeah, that too. Me too.
And then he said, "That's not the point of the game. It's to be number one. Nobody cares about number two." And then he said number one was 0 at one point. You're right. And then Bill like at one point, and then King talking about I lost him and stuff like that. Hopefully I get what I was saying after I completed my soliloquy with that. And then Bill was like, but now KC has pat anything less than the ring is failed season, which is where Dolphins are at. Too many weapons to settle that one playoff win. Don't mention Foster Deus. That's my boy. And then Bill said, don't leave it in the refs' hands. Yeah. So shouts out to Bill and King for participating and whatnot. But hopefully my soliloquy, you understand what I was coming from with that. But my mindset is like that. Like, all I'm saying is stick with the process, man. Mm-hmm. Like, Patrick Mahomes got drafted. He was he was a backup for a couple years, and then after that, he became the starter. And look, this is a perfect example. Green Bay, right? Mm-hmm. Green Bay had Jordan Love. He was behind Aaron Rodgers, and guess what? At the beginning of the year, he was doing pretty bad, and then towards the end, he ended up balling out, right? Now, guess what? They have a future good quarterback for years on end. Yeah. Me personally, I just feel like Chicago should have kept Justin Fields, drafted the number one overall pick, got a whole bunch of picks,
and put that boy under Justin Fields. Like I would have put him under Justin Fields.
So that's just me, and it's you got to trust the process, man. Mm-hmm. Like, so that's really it. We were just talking about the Dolphins. We were talking about the moves that they made. One thing I would say with the Dolphins, granted, like, we made some moves as a Dolphin organization, but I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I felt some type of way of us letting Christian Wilkins go.
I ain't understand that move. He was balling. He was balling. I ain't understand that at all.
This is the only thing I said. Like this, cause now this goes back to Bill says, but at what point the process is a failure? When you'll know it's a failure when they're playing bad. When it's like when you're not winning anymore, and when you see the person regressing. But we're not a failure right now. We balling. You know what I'm saying? King said it best. Our defense is trash. Like me personally, dude. Like, in my opinion, the only problem that we have, the Dolphins, is that we are not physical. We're not physical. On defense. We're a finesse team. We get pushed around. That's our only problem. If we get players that is not going to get pushed around and be physical, like when it comes to a hard-nosed running team, we get pushed around, man. Right? If we get to a point where we're physical and we on impact, you stuck right there, like you're not moving, like that will take the Dolphins a long way. Because you know why? We would have made multiple stops. Because it's that extra effort that keeps getting us. Especially with Patrick Mahomes.
I believe that. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we need to be more physical. Granted, Christian Wilkins, like this is when I say, oh, trust the process, right? And I believe in paying my own players. Christian Wilkins deserved his money. Christian Wilkins got 4 years, $110 million with Las Vegas. I bet Christian Wilkins would have took 4 years 90 or 4 years 100
With the Dolphins.
or 4 years 95 with the Dolphins. Right? And in my opinion, you let him go after we had him, we drafted him, and we let him grow. We see him grow. We see him become the player that he is. Right? And in my opinion, that right there, man, you can't not sign the players that you draft and develop into star players, man. You can't just let them go. Another one, Robert Hunt. Robert Hunt was garbage when he got here, man. He was bad when he got here. We developed him. We turned him into the player that he is today. And we let him go to go be a star player somewhere else. He signed a 5-year, $100 million deal with Carolina. So now who's gonna be our on our right guard, on our left guard, on that spot? Who are we going to replace? Right? So my thing is like this. When you develop players and you raise them up from bad to good, you do what you got to do to keep them. I'm pretty sure Robert Hunt would have stayed for 5 years 90, 5 years 85. Like, them boys going to take a $10 million pay, a $10 million cut, a haircut to stay in Miami. Don't get that twisted. So it's like, wow, like how you let him go? Van Ginkel. He signed for a 2-year, $20 million deal with Minnesota, $10 million a year. I'm pretty sure if you gave that man 2 years 17, 2 years 16, he taking that. He's staying in Miami. We drafted and developed all these players just to let them go to another team and ball out. I don't get that. No, but I don't get it, bro. I don't get that. Like, I'm not
to say that's just the business. Because I ain't understand that move. When they traded Wick, I'm like, why they traded? And yes, like the year he was
him. He was a free agent.
No, matter of fact, he was a free agent. You're right. I like the fact that when he go like this, that sign when he get a sack and he do that little sign, he dancing. Yeah. Man, he is a great player, man.
We had fun watching him.
I don't know why the Dolphins then trying to offer him more money to keep him, but like I said, they got somebody else for him. I hope he's good too. Can't remember his name. So hopefully, they ball out too.
Bill asking us the Dolphins had the money to keep them all. They could have did something. They could have worked something around. They could have worked something around
because he wanted to stay in Miami. Yeah, I know it because
he wanted to.
It was a video after the last game of the season. He said, "I see y'all boys next year when the season come back. We're gonna be back again." So I'm like, okay. Then when I saw what happened, he went to the Chargers. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Them boys
he went to the Raiders.
Raiders. I'm like, them boys ain't really trying to fight for him. Like they ain't really offer him something like how Alvin said. He could have taken something. You know what I mean? If they offer him,
he could have took a haircut, bro. Like, okay, he got 5 years 100. He would have took 5 years 90, 5 years 87, just to stay in Miami.
Yeah, just to stay in Miami.
But Robert Hunt took 5 years 100. Man, he would have took 5 years 98, 5 years 90, 5 years 88. To stay in Miami? Heck yeah. I'm staying. So now I gotta move my whole family all the way to Carolina, to Las Vegas. Huh?
For the money, I'll do it.
To do what?
I'll moved my whole family.
Well, yeah, but you got other players that you got to pay a whole bunch of taxes and stuff like that. More taxes, like, come on, man. I don't know. Trust the process. If you didn't hear anything else today, when it comes to the show, and anything you got in life, and anything you got going on in your life, in your personal life, business-wise, projects, family-wise, with your wife, with your kids, everything and anything is a process. And don't quit the process, because you never know where you will get to if you continue. But if you just quit halfway and quit abruptly and stuff like that, you will never know what could have been. And anything you got going on in life, you trust the process and just see it through. You're gonna get to a point where you know what, I've did everything I can. I've squeezed the juice out of that lemon to the point where there's no more juice in the lemon left. Whatever situation you got, make sure you squeeze every ounce of juice out of that lemon, man. All right. Thank you for tuning in. This is Deus Sports Show. We'll see you next week.
Si nous mettons ensemble, nos jours n'a pas suspendus, n'a pas avancé, nous va ouais bel pays nous camper. Qu'il est brûlé, qu'il est saturé, les moins envahis, les moins bangués, pas découragés, pas péter comme ça, lever les mains en l'air pour m'adorer. Jésus où c'est? Jésus où c'est?
Hosannaradio, the radio station that's connecting the world through gospel.
Hey, auditeur, ou prend lumière rouge. Au moins faire un petit freiner pour brancher Radio Hosanna, Radio Peuple là, Radio Chaleur, Grand Monde, Petit Monde, la jeunesse. Yo tout côté là. Et c'est radio qui porte la joie dans la communauté.